Hello on YouTube. I don't know if anyone's watching this or what. Nobody's there. No surprise. No surprise, YouTube. No surprise. I'm trying to get Twitter set up. Alien. Doing an alien Q&A. Put your comments in the comment section below. Go live. What in the world is going on here? Oh my God, this is so funny. I don't know what is going on with this Twitter. Oh man. Sorry, I'm trying to go live on stupid Twitter. It's just ridiculous. Man. Live stream's going to start in a little bit. Your post was sent. Ha! Am I live on? Okay. God. Well, here I am going live on TikTok, YouTube, and Twitter. Woo! I haven't been on, X. Clearly, I haven't been on X in a long, long time. It's been a minute since I've been on YouTube and TikTok. How's everyone doing? I'm going to do Q&A of my book, Learn How to Make Contact with Benevolent Aliens, and my other book, 5D Consciousness Activations, talking about dimensions. If you have any questions, post them in the comments. And this will be recorded on YouTube, potentially little clips on TikTok. And I don't know, this is my first time going live on X, so we'll see what happens. I'm going to start trying to go live on like 4 different platforms. I'll also add Instagram into the mix too. Maybe Facebook. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. So yeah, if you have any questions about making contact with aliens, different dimensions, 3rd dimension, 4th, 5th, and beyond, yeah, you can post them in the comments. I'm going to go through my book here, Learn How to Make Contact with Aliens. So there's over 30 different contact methods, and I just came across 2 more. So I'm going to update it in my book here, but I'll go through the 30 different contact methods. Once I get to the page, I can't find the page. Give you a little preview. Angel numbers, ways of communication. Okay, here we go. Here is my big list of different ways of communicating with not only aliens, but also trees, plants, animals, spirits, beings, elementals, you name it, even inanimate objects. They all have a different level of consciousness. Us humans are in the third dimension, consciousness. Plants and animals are in the second dimension. Objects, such as this mouse, is first dimension consciousness. We have the ability of imprinting energy on anything and everything and transmuting energy to higher vibrations or lower vibrations. It's been proven in water and plants. And we can do that to other beings as well. And we do it to humans all the time. When someone brings your vibe down or they like pick your vibe up, that's us transmuting energy. So here are some of the different ways that you can make contact with different dimensional conscious beings, such as aliens. So interfacing, that's when you use your extrasensory perception abilities to interact or interface with another type of being through various methods of communication, like clairvoyant visions, clairempathy, clairfeeling, claircognizance, clairknowing. We have all of our different clair senses here that I mentioned, that we have the ability of sending and receiving information through. Telepathy is a big one. That's mainly like clairvoyant communication, where you are telepathically interfacing and sending information from your mind into another person or being's mind. As I mentioned, there's clairvoyance, clairaudience, claircognizance, clairsentience, clairempathy, clairsalient, clairtangency, clairintellect, clairgustance. We have all these incredible, amazing abilities. And we have a really cool mixture of DNA within us. We share DNA with alien beings. It's so awesome. There's a couple questions. It has not been proven, any of that stuff. You're delulu. Go and check the CIA and FBI vault. They have projects like Project Looking Glass, Project Stargate. There's Project Montauk, where they've been studying all of these different clairvoyant abilities or clair abilities for the past 80 plus years. It has been proven over and over and over again. There is, I think it's the Stargate project by the FBI and CIA that was formulated. It's a step-by-step process of how to remote view, which i.e. is clairvoyant abilities, where you can find out any type of information throughout all of time space, past, present, or future, in this timeline or any other timelines. So you are incorrect, and I am correct, because I have done relentless research, because I talk to aliens. I've been communicating with aliens my whole life. I literally wrote the book on how to make contact with aliens. I know what I'm talking about. Hi, newly awakened psychic, clairaudient, and empath. Cool. We all have unique soul gifts as well. Some of us are better at empathic communication, like clear feeling, while others, like myself, I'm better at clairvoyant communication. I love like clairtangency, where you can like pick up an object and like read that object. And even like with a book, you can use like Dr. Silva's method of getting into alpha brainwave state, where you can literally go into like a super learning process. Super cool. Anyways. Yeah. There's Ujjayi breathing techniques to get you into higher states of consciousness. And from there, you can go through basic like portals through the cosmic web to interact with different types of beings, even your higher self, your star team, your spirit guides. Astral travel and projection are a method where you can separate from your body, your physical body, and then travel anywhere you want to. It's pretty awesome. It's difficult to do, but it is possible, which has also been thoroughly studied, and the documents have been released by the CIA and FBI. Also, there's Farsight Institute, there's the Monroe Institute. There's so much information that backs all of this up and much more. Lucid dreaming is kind of another form of astral projection, but you gain consciousness in dream space. That's how I do it mostly. It's way easier. There's remote viewing, as I mentioned, Merkaba light body activation, which is quite advanced, but it's epically amazing. Channeling and automatic writing, downloading from the fields, hypnotherapy, transcendental meditation, Akashic records, psychedelics, synchronicities, messages from other people, messages from animals and plants, dreams, deja vu and daydreams, OBE, NDE, out of body experience or near death experience, soul contracts. And then there's also the Kilonics. I think it's called Kilonic. I'm just learning about it from Aishiana Danae or Diane. And it's like kind of like downloading from the field, but it's like super high level imprinted, coded information that you can align your higher self to access that information and then download it to your human. It's pretty crazy. And then the other one I'm going to add on to is light language. I started speaking light language when I was probably like 8 or 9. And I just thought I was speaking like Italian or something, but really it's like light language. And it's cool. Sometimes I'll go into like a meditation or healing session or something, and people will start talking in light language. And I know exactly what they're doing, what they're saying, the feeling. And they're like, oh my gosh, I rarely ever do that. And I was like, I'm always like, you're speaking my language. Like literally, I've been speaking this for most of my life. And it's so beautiful to do. So those are the over 30 different ways of making contact. And I encourage you to ask questions or try some of these out. I'm going to go through some of the comments here. Let's see here. Newly awakened. Scam jam. Sounds made up. AI prompts gone wrong. Anyone who's too close-minded for this, you should just leave because this content's not for you. When she realized she didn't have any implorable skills. Okay, I blocked that person. Better than hating on people on the internet. When I did too, when I was little, I would sing in it as a child, light language singing. Cool. Ever read about Hancock? I don't think so. Hello, can I join for speak English? Trying to learn English. No, thank you. Sorry. The Palladian lady. You are on the right path. Thank you. I have some Nordic DNA in me, but my starseed origin is planet Maldek, where it was in the asteroid belt that got destroyed a really, really long time ago. So that's part of my starseed origin. If you are interested in finding out your starseed origin, like where your soul actually comes from, you can do that through hypnotherapy, through Akashic records, readings, body talk, or access bars is what it's also called. You must be joking. No, I'm certainly not joking. I talked to aliens and I co-wrote not just one, but 2 books with aliens. You're so cool. Thank you very much. You guys are cool too. As long as you're open-minded, keep an open mind, because yeah, if you are open to aliens and talking about aliens and talking to aliens, this is alive for you. If you're not into that, just, scroll on by. How do you feel about QHHT, which is Dolores Cannon's quantum healing hypnotherapy? I had that done in 2020. I also had 3 other sessions of regular hypnotherapy because I had literal reptilians coming to me, 2 Galactic Federation beings who I had no idea who they were or what was going on really. I had all these alien beings just contacting me and coming to me in the middle of the night. And I was like, what? Am I crazy? Or is this actually happening? And so I did like crazy amounts of research and did all these hypnotherapy sessions. And I uncovered so much about myself, why me, why they came to me. QHHT, though, is a very, very deep form of hypnotherapy. I think mine was about 3.5 hours. Some people are about 4 hours. I'm really easy to get into hypnotherapy, like to get like a hypnotherapist or hypnosis state where the subconscious mind opens up and you can just like freely ask any questions. In my QHHT session, I was really curious about my birthmarks. So I have this birthmark here. You can't really see it very well. And then I also have another one on my lower back. So I was brought back to those lifetimes where I was killed and like my throat was slit and I think I was shot or something. And yeah, there's, I uncovered a lot about that, about my soul missions. And it was cool when I was coming out of QHHT. I was kind of like floating in like darkness, really. And then all of a sudden, there was kind of like this raindrop, and I dropped into this like silky white pantyhose type material. And I was like, what is this? What am I in? And it was like this raindrop bubble, and like kind of I popped out of it. And it was like this silvery, cool, like mesh kind of thing. And I was explaining it to the hypnotherapist, and she was so excited. She was like, oh, yes, yes, that's the cosmic web. And I was like, I was so confused. And then after the session, she was like, you did it perfectly. That was like textbook example of when you come out of hypnosis or hypnotherapy, you basically come out of the fabric of space-time, which is the cosmic web. It's woven through everything, everywhere, throughout our bodies. It's represented by the fascia and muscle webbing, and it's all spread out through everywhere. If you meditate deep enough, you can see it. There are ways where you can see the fabric of space-time. We also, our thoughts are electromagnetic, and they are electromagnetized into the web as well, and it makes up like the collective human consciousness. And then there's like a fourth dimensional firmament that keeps us stuck in until we're evolutionary competent enough to break into the cosmic collective consciousness, which is space. That's why 3D technology does not work in 5D space. Okay, there's a few more questions here I'm going to go through as well. So if you have any questions about aliens or dimensions, consciousness, spirituality, put them in the comments. Are the Anunnaki real? Absolutely. I'm hoping Nibiru is going to appear yesterday. Me too. I feel you. There's a really cool video by Alex Collier, or however you say his name, that I saw. And it was like Nibiru is basically like being driven here. They can, it recently moved up like 50,000 kilometers closer, and then it just stops. Like it moves and then it'll stop. And like it can go slower or faster. Like it's so interesting. But when it does come by, that's like when the solar flash happens. And basically our DNA is going to go through a pretty big jump in evolution, consciously, physiologically, all of that. And our neurological pathways are going to expand too. And we're all going to know and like remember who we truly are, why we incarnated here. We'll be connected to like our divine higher self. So it's pretty cool. I'm excited for Nibiru too, but I know we have a long way to go. We have a lot of work ahead of us humans. Like, we need to like clear our karma, heal ourselves, do a lot of things to prep our bodies for this like massive, awesome, cool jump. So this is a diagram in my book. This is your higher self. Sorry, it's backwards, but then you have your cosmic plane of your soul, etheric plane, astral plane, physical plane of your soul. And we are at this tiny little fractal of our soul incarnated right now. So there's all these other simultaneous soul versions of ourself also incarnated in alternative realities in different time spaces, which is honestly so hard to comprehend. But it also kind of makes sense of like why you are the way you are and certain feelings you get or certain things, downloads. You know that there's more going on than what we're being shown. And really, we're going to integrate further into our true selves and with our physical bodies too, which is like, oh, this is so cool. I'm 200% in. Hello, Anunnaki. Yes. I had 2 sessions of QHHT. That's cool. Are you Pisces Mercury? I think it helps. No, I'm Capricorn Mercury. I'm the fish goat. What languages do aliens speak? They all have their own different languages. A lot, like majority of them, 90% plus, speak telepathically. They just speak with their mind. And there's various ways that they can do that. They also have, like, we have our 5 senses. And the extrasensory perception abilities are extensions of our physical senses. So when you feel something, it's an extension of that feeling that you get, and you can feel it in your gut. And even unawakened people talk about this. Oh, my gut feeling, my gut instinct, my unction, my spidey sense, my intuition. Those are 4th dimensional extra perception abilities that are unrecognized by 3rd dimensional science, psychology, a lot of different 3D things. So, which is kind of frustrating when we really want to grow and expand, but here we are. I was asked about my birthmark. How do I contact aliens? Do you think it is much better to contact with people? People are aliens. We're all aliens. And why not make contact with beings that are way more advanced than us, that could give us insight, not only to our own personal lives and personal development, but also to help the world, help humanity, help clean up the earth. There's so much we can learn from all these beings. Thank you. There's so much technology. I've gotten a lot of technological downloads. Like, there's so many cool things. This is a major galactic pilgrimage. We can't screw this pilgrimage up. No more screwing up, like meeting new types of beings and people. So in my book, I go over 30 different ways of making contact, and I have 2 more ways to even add on to that. I already went through it, but I'll go through it again in a little bit here. Do you find interest in the physics / astronomy related universe or the spiritual side of it? They are one and the same. In 3rd dimension, science, astronomy, physics, all of those medical, different bureaucracies, if you will, they are separated. Whereas in ancient times, they were actually all together. So what's occurred is like the compartmentalization of, this is only spirituality, this is only science, this is this type of science, that's that type of science. We can't mix these. And it's been that way for our conscious evolutionary development. But what we're going to be doing in the next while, and we're already doing it, is merging so many things and co-collaborating on other understandings and abilities, senses, all of that. My higher self said it wasn't time to talk about my birthmark. Oh, that's interesting. That happens to me too. Sometimes when I'm reading people or trying to access information from the field, I'll get blocked. I usually get like a red X. So even if we want information, sometimes we can't have it because we're not evolved yet enough. There's other ways you can get around that. Sometimes if you rephrase the question, it won't interfere with your free will. And so there's tricks, but a lot of times they won't allow it. What does it mean when you're born with a birthmark and then as you age, it disappears? Oh, that's interesting. I don't know specifically, but what information I get from that is that it kind of just reminds me of when you're a little kid, you're fresher into this universe than, or fresher into this incarnation. And as you grow older, you forget really what it's like to be a kid, what it's like to have that imagination and that connection to your previous lifetimes. Maybe, I don't know. Hello, everyone. I encourage you to share this live too. And yeah, Do you somehow make money from all this? I make a very small, tiny amount from selling my books on Amazon. I put them as low price as I could. This one's 1880 or 1818, I think, and this one's 2222. I only make a few bucks off them, like really. It's not a whole lot, but I wanted to price them so they're affordable. I put in 3 years into this one and then an additional 4th year basically into this one too. I doubt I'd ever break even unless I sell like hundreds of thousands of copies of these, which would be awesome. But I'm doing this really because I'm pushed to by my star family, and I know I have soul missions here on Earth to get this information out there. And I do lives like this to go through my book to put this information out. I make tons and tons of videos, hundreds of videos on this stuff. So yeah, that's just part of my thing. Have you been to Dr. Stephen Greer's retreats? No, I haven't, but I started my own CE5 contact group. Back in 2020, we made deep space contact as a group using Dr. Stephen Greer's CE5 app. I encourage you to download that app. I think it's like 15 or 20 bucks or something. You can go through all of his alien contact protocols, which I talk about in this book also. And you can also see their network of people who are around your local area and actually like message people and say, hey, do you want to do a CE5? That's how I started it. And yeah, you can make contact through that. There's also the E-SETI or C-ETI groups. I forget what it's called. There's also the ET Let's Talk Now group. There's hundreds of thousands of groups making contact worldwide that have been doing it for decades. This is nothing new, but this is kind of like a whole bunch of the different types of information jam-packed into one book. Who teaches you this stuff? A lot of it I downloaded from the cosmic web, or like the cosmic collective consciousness. And I researched like relentlessly. I've done my own personal research, like into my past lifetimes, and literally like had conversations with aliens for this type of information. And yeah, just gotten lots of downloads. I have at least like 20 other books I need to write still. Here's kind of a preview of some of them. I think my next one I'm going to do is God, Jesus, and Aliens, How We're All Divinely Connected. Another one that's very dark shadow one called They, Those Whom Conspire Against Humanity. This one's also another dark one too, used, abused, and discarded, human trafficking. There's Dimensions, Karmic Earth Mission, The Human Prophecy, The Death Trap System, and Galactic Pilgrimage. Woohoo! So yeah, I have like endless books to write, and I'm just going to keep doing this stuff forever because I'm obsessed. I live for this. I think it's so fun. Yeah, anyways. Oh, someone said about the birthmark disappearing, perhaps you healed any wounds and trauma connected to that birthmark. That's why it disappeared. I like that. I resonate with that a lot. Have you ever contact with one? I'm assuming that questions, have I made contact with aliens? Yes, I have contact with many aliens to this day. I started having contact when I was a kid. I was having beings that would come into my room, and they were like super colorful and beautiful. And they would play this like incredible like symphony electronic music. And they would show me how to like, you know, move energy with my mind, and like, oh, it was so beautiful. And then I had interaction with really dark negative entity beings like reptilians. I was abducted multiple times. I was experimented on. I was used in the Gray Human Hybrid projects. I have at least 10 Gray Human Essassani hybrid beings. If that gives you the chills or makes you, you know, tremble a bit inside, it's likely that you may even have these children too, because they've been doing this. Typically, the Orion Greys have been doing these abductions for the past 80 years, abducting people in their sleep, stealing their eggs or their sperm, and hybridizing them into a new race called the Sassani and Essassani beings. If you don't know Bashar, he's the leader of the Essassani, like the benevolent side of them. And yeah, it's pretty wild, but hey, this is where we're at. It's a reality. I've made contact with GFL. I had 2 reptilian beings come to me in 2019. I was like my first adult interaction with them, and they asked me to help them. And they showed me like horrible things. And I was like, no, get out of here. And then about 3 weeks later, the GFL beings came to me and like told me a huge long list of all these things I had to do. And so I'm like, I was so compelled to figure out why me? Why would they come to me? Am I crazy or is this real? Did that really happen? Why? Because I was like, I'm nobody. I'm just in like middle Saskatchewan, Canada. Like, I'm not anyone special, you know? So I figured it out. I go through so much of this in my videos on YouTube, TikTok here, explaining the interactions with aliens very much in detail. Yeah, it's been pretty wild, but like amazing at the same time. So I'm just sharing the information I've come across and my own experiences. You can take it or leave it. You don't have to believe everything I say, or you know, I'm I don't know everything. I'm still learning a lot. But these are things that I have found out and that have worked for me and my CE5 group as well, which have been so beautiful. It upgrades your consciousness. It helps you become more aware, more calm, more happy. You enjoy life much better and are able to manifest things way easier in your own personal life. So that's a little bit more about it. What are they called? Which one called? Sorry. Oh my goodness, I'm so far behind on all these messages. I hope you guys are having a good day too. Yes, I've made alien contact, which I just mentioned. I'm scared now with the idea that I'm going to be probed. Not funny. You probably already have and don't even know it because they wipe your memory. And it's not, we do it to like animals all the time. If we need to catch a wild animal, we like tranquilize it, pin it down, do some tests on it, put it back out into the wild. Nothing happened. The animal kind of like shakes it off and is like, what was that? That's so weird. And the aliens, a lot of them see us as their experiment. Some see us as their cattle. Some see us as their children of the universe. There are over 300,000 different types of conscious sentient beings in our universe, plus like gazillions beyond in the multiverse as well. We are not alone. We've never been alone. And we are at the point where our consciousness is evolving to a place where we have the ability of connecting and communicating with other beings. We have a lot of work to do, though, still, because we are extremely powerful beings and we don't know our own true power yet. We are dangerous. We are seen as barbarians. We smell, we're aloof, we're unevolved, kind of rude, kind of extremely overdramatic. A lot of aliens are like, I don't got time for those unevolved little children humans. We're almost seen as like toddlers that are like bouldering around with like our huge energy, and we have the ability of hurting other beings just with our thoughts, and not just in person but also through pictures and videos too. We can harm beings because our thoughts are so freaking powerful. If we're like, oh, that being, blah, 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 you could kill a being just by negative thoughts. And if there's hundreds of thousands or millions of people seeing that and thinking the same thing, it's extremely dangerous. That's why it's so rare to see photos of Sasquatch or aliens or other types of beings, because it has already happened before. There was an instance where this Sasquatch being did have a photo of it and it ended up dying because of humans like negative thought process. I think that was back in the 70s or something. Like, it's pretty wild that we have that ability and we have no idea yet. So yeah, we have to earn their respect, do our homework, work on our abilities, calming our monkey brain down. We are our ancestors and they are us. Yeah, we have their DNA. Have you ever contact with one? Yes, I've made lots of contact with aliens. Any proof at all, even 1%. I put a ton of evidence and proof in my books, and you can see in my videos too, you can believe what you want to believe. Totally up to you. I'm not forcing anyone to believe this stuff. You can just figure it out for yourself. I keep getting this, have you ever contact with one? Yes, I have contact with a lot of aliens. Why are aliens more advanced if we are also aliens? There's other planets that are like our planet. Our planet is very low vibrational, third dimensional planet. It's seen as kind of like a newer planet, or like in this evolutionary process of time space where we're at. We're in like, this third dimensional level, which is first density. And then we're moving into fourth right now, and then fifth density. There are other, like most space is in 5D already. And many of the beings have been around for like millions and millions of years. The ones that many of, there's about 20 to 30 different types of beings that mix their DNA with Neanderthals, which the Anunnaki kind of led that. It was like a great hybridization of the Neanderthal beings. And then the Sasquatch and the Yeti are the actual just natural evolution of the Neanderthal beings. So that's how we're related to Sasquatch and Yetis. We have that same Neanderthal base to us. But now we have like us humans are mixed with Anunnaki, reptilian, gray, Syrian, Lyran, Palladian, and I don't even know all the other ones. There's so many. And yeah, I want to know all about them all. I have lots of books on different alien species too. And some of them, like I've probably met maybe 12 different kinds or more. Some of them I don't even know really what they were. I'm like, I think they were that. And then I also have the ability, like clairvoyant abilities, where I can see other beings. This is really cool. So this is the Christos Avatar multidimensional mat. And then this one's the expanded version of it. And it goes through like the light beings and the dark types of beings as well. This is really cool. I think I paid like $22 for it, but if you're American, I think it's like only 15. So yeah, there's like the inner earth races, the angelic human lineage, 7 earth seed races, the 5 star seed races. So your soul may or may not originate from this planet. If you are a star seed, you don't originate from this planet. Like me, I originate from the Maldek planet. There's also angelic human races, the indigo races. Those are all like the light being, light soul type races. We humans that are in positive light, we are light being souls. There are other aliens out there that are light beings as well. And they're the ones that are helping us and aiding us to the best of their ability without breaking cosmic law of non-interference. But there's also a lot of dark entities, souls, like a negative oriented dark soul. Or some of them don't have souls. They're just basically parasitic entities that are feeding off of light beings. And they are either stuck here or have a karmic bond here, or like a multitude of other things. They're the fallen angel, Anu, Elohim races, fallen seraphim races, fallen Anu, seraphim hybrids, Luciferian starseed race, Marduk, Anunnaki hybrids, Marduk, Necromitron, Luciferian hybrids, Centaur hybrids, Enlil, Anunnaki hybrids, Enki Anunnaki hybrids, Palladian Luciferian Anunnaki hybrids. Oh, then there's a parallel earth, the inner earth. There's so much more, so much more. our reality, the phantom matrix, the antiparticle universe, and time space. It's all happening on top of each other. It's like stacked, like different layers. And how you tune to it is like literally getting into the vibrational frequency resonance of that different dimension. It's pretty cool. Our physical third dimensional bodies keep us really anchored into this physical realm. However, we're literally evolving right now through fourth dimension density, or second density. So we're experiencing more things like the Miami Mall aliens, or aliens on planes, or people shape-shifting on TV or at a concert. We're seeing those things. Are aliens real after all? Yes. Basically trying to sell your book complete nonsense. Oh, well, that's your opinion and you're entitled to your opinion. But, if people are closed-minded to aliens and this stuff, this is not the right channel for you. And that's okay. Teach me how to drill. I'm not sure. It's not a trajectory or evolution of knowledge. Colonial blindness isn't an evolutionary trait. Interesting. My son's dad was shot in the same place my birthmark was on me. Oh, that's wild. Yeah. Sorry, I'm just going through all the comments. Trying to get rid of some people that are just, anyways. Do you see the eclipse? I was outside yesterday hugging trees and earthing on the ground. And so I hope you guys had a really good eclipse day too. If you have any questions or comments about aliens, consciousness, anything, put it in the comment section below. I'm looking for a key fourth kind event with info behind a timed block. I'm not sure what you mean. Alien right here. That's awesome. What is the strangest aliens in your opinion? Us humans? I don't know. That's a good question. I have to think about that. They're all pretty weird. We're weird. Actually, aliens, I don't know. They seem a little bit more straightforward. Like us humans are such mixed hybrids, and we do a lot of secretions. We have to eat a lot. We're like high maintenance compared to other beings. We are extremely sensitive, yet we're extremely adaptable. We can't take on a whole lot of radiation where some other beings can take on way more radiation. And like all our cell phones and stuff, we're literally getting used to high levels of radiation right now so we can have the advanced technology. So we're getting that exposure right now to build up an immunity for radiation. So that's pretty wild. How do you manage your vibration? Really good question. It's through your thoughts. CBT or CTT, cognitive behavioral therapy, or cognitive thought therapy, which was developed by Louise Hay in the 1980s. This is how you reprogram your mind, which is a supercomputer. And through reprogramming these things through intentional thoughts, spoken over and over and over again for 21 days minimum or more, you can reprogram all the neurological pathways for success, for wealth, for abundance, for happiness, joy, love, higher vibrational thinking. You'll also reprogram the reticular activating system, which is your brain's filtering system, which is the information that you see. You can expand, literally intentionally program yourself to higher dimensional frequencies and the life you really want. It's been proven. It's easy. It's pretty straightforward, but it's easy for us to be comfortable in patterns. and our brain to default back to patterns that are familiar to us. But it's just willpower. You bring here some weapons or something, extraterrestrials. Yes, interesting. I lost 4 minutes today. Why an alien come to Earth? What is the foods? There's some aliens eat humans. We are not the top of the food chain. In my book here, there's a few different types of aliens that eat humans. And there is a treaty with a lot of the world governments and the reptilians, certain greys and insectoids, that they get about 1 to 2 million humans a year to eat. That's why there's so many missing and murdered Indigenous women specifically, and so many missing people, so many missing children. They don't go missing. They are eaten. If you look at all the hikers that disappeared by caves, they didn't disappear. They were eaten. There's also an additional 1 million humans that are trafficked off planet every year as well. Food for thought. Is there a connection between the reptilians and the Anunnaki? Yes. The reptilians were technically here first. But there's like also the Neanderthals and lots of other beings and animals and things that have come back and forth. And then the Anunnaki came and they needed to mine gold. They needed to get resources from Earth. And they're like, hey, reptilians, like, can you mine gold for us? And they're like, no, get out of here. And they're like, what are you going to do? We're way more powerful than you. And then the Anunnaki did have their own like EBEs, or their like biological being robots, basically, that they can program. And they're like, okay, go mine gold for us. And then those EBEs were like, we are way too intelligent to be mining gold. You have to make your own slave race. We're not doing this. So that's when the human prophecy was like actually created. It was prophesized eons and eons prior to that. But the prophecy stated really that it was going to be a new race of beings that were created with a mix of light and dark beings that would eventually become the guardians of this universe. And that's the human prophecy. That's what we're here for. We got really big shoes to fill. Got a lot of stuff we got to do. Then the reptilians were like, hey, we want some of those slave beings too. So basically they made some agreements between the Anunnaki and reptilians that they would hybridize a lot of these beings for them. And then the reptilians could also use them as their own slaves and their own genetic experiments and all of these things. It's pretty cool, pretty wild. You can look at Elizabeth April, David Wilcock, Emery Smith, Corey Good, Dr. Michael Salla, the Farsight Institute. They all have even further information on these things that are really cool and fun and interesting to look into. I reference these people in both my books as well. It's about DNA, I think. Oh, you're Canadian. Me too, Northern Ontario. I'm from Saskatchewan. What is the background sound? I'm not sure. No idea what happened. Just know it took 4 minutes for me to get in my car this morning. Probably like timeline jumps. Or maybe you were abducted and just like, there's lots of things that could happen. I do have to go in about 5-ish minutes, unfortunately, but I'm going to be on tomorrow again. I've been following you on here for a while. Always like your posts. Thank you. Peace and blessings. Thank you. I hate school because it's 3D human school and they're programming you to be a slave. That's why I hated school too. From age 7, I was like, they're lying. They're so lying. Oh, thank you, Angie. So why are we abused by aliens and then our memory wiped? So that's specifically the negative oriented reptilian Orion collective that does experiments on us, hybridized programs. The Black U.S. military projects also coincide with that to study what they're doing. It's a big treaty that happened long ago in like the 1940s. basically to trade humanity for advanced technology, and the US government got totally screwed on it. It was a horrible deal. Humanity got pretty screwed on it. They took advantage so far above and beyond what they were allowed to. And the humans didn't hold up their end of the deal. Like, a lot of things went sideways. It's pretty messy. But that's just one part of it. And it's basically them like exploiting humans. But I signed up for being abducted. I signed up to have that done. Like, Earth is a very traumatic, hard incarnation, and we come here to learn the most intense soul lessons. So even though it sucks, you signed up for it. You chose it. I chose this too. And once you figure that out, it makes it easier. And then you can be like, what do I really want in this life? What are my soul missions? I'm going to do that. And forget about all the other stuff. I'm not going to worry about it. So you can go to Super Saiyan because it would be freaking awesome. Not sure what that is. Why are they not helping us? They can see we need help. So Farsight Institute went over this too quite a lot. And they've like gone to the GFL multiple times being like, we need help. We need help. And they're like, we can only help so much without like massively interfering. And we've heard your call. We are helping. They are doing disclosure on individual levels to the humans that are ready for it. But a lot of us just aren't physiologically, energetically, psychologically, consciously evolved enough for us to access these higher dimensional planes of existence. You have to do the work. If you want contact, if you want to like upgrade yourself, you have to do the work. And it involves like clearing your karma, clearing your trauma, like healing your trauma, finding out who you are, know thyself. What are your soul contracts here? What are your soul missions? What's your exit points? What is your higher self? Like, what's your starseed origins? Like, discover who you are, what your purpose is. Like, research those. What are your soul gifts? And then at that point, you can start building up on how to evolve for you, because we all have different evolutionary paths here. What does that mean? Have you ever heard of Bashar channeling? Yes, I follow Bashar a lot. He's the leader of the Essassani hybrid race. Yeah, he's awesome. Isn't it a bad thing that they are doing this stuff to us and then they make us forget? There's a trinity that exists. There's the light and dark side, and then there's also the higher purpose side. So you can look at it like, oh, they hurt us and they exploited us. Or you could be like, well, that was a really good soul lesson for me to learn. And hey, that jogged my memory for me to go and look into this thing. And then I met these people and I got into this group and I helped my development and blah, 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 blah. It set me on this chain reaction. Or like, this is a whole divine purpose. And this is part of the collective human awakening and the consciousness and all this other thing. So you can perceive it how you want. How you perceive it gives it the true power. What's up? You got AM radio. I want to know, since she speaks with them, how do I contact them? In my book, I go through 30 different ways. I'm going to be talking on my live tomorrow again, more about this. Can you tell me about the Orion Wars? I wish I had more information. I know only a little bit. We are the aliens. Yes. What is that noise? Sorry. I'm streaming on YouTube and on, X. Yeah, I don't know. So sorry if there's weird buzzing sounds or something, because I think maybe it's a computer fan. Yeah. So how can we not have them eat us? If you're alive listening to this, you're not one of the karmic beings that are stuck in a karmic loop of being eaten. It's kind of a soul trap. It's like a really messed up soul trap thing. It's kind of crazy. Don't go into the woods at night or where there's caves is another thing. Google what's missing on the top of the Pyramid of Giza. That's a really good thing. How do I get off planet? You can astral travel, Merkaba travel. Dolores Cannon is a great source for learning about quantum aspects of the dimension. And this next one, How do I keep from getting eaten? Raise your vibration, raise your consciousness. Negative entities cannot come around high vibrational beings because we are double, if not more powerful than any beings. Sorry about the fan blowing loudly. That's probably because of my computer, but that's really good to know. Dark. Anyways, I have to go make supper and do all the human things. I love you guys so much. Thank you for tuning into this. I'm going to go live tomorrow and talk more about my books. And if you have any questions in the meantime, you can DM me. Oh, thank you, Angie. You can post comments on my videos and check out my YouTube videos. I'm also going to be doing a masterclass on both of these books too coming up. So subscribe to my newsletter, and I'm going to be posting out more information and the date and all that fun stuff later on. I love you all so much. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate you all, and I will see you on the next videos and tomorrow and all the different things in the astral realm. Bye.